Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and this is another episode of CovertGoLore, where we explore the STRIXHAVEN lore, and we're into episode 2 of the main story, titled Lessons. This is my lovely wife, Gina. She will be your reader today. Take it away, Gina!
Hey everybody, class is back in session. Here we are at STRIXHAVEN. Woo! Grab your books, grab your pencils, your scrolls. We're going to do some learning today in this episode called Lessons. Are you ready for the lessons?
I don't want to go back to school. It was hard.
I'm sorry. You're coming to school with me now.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start all over the place, actually. There's going to be a lot of visiting people, but we'll start very briefly with the Oriq that Liliana confronted in episode 1. His name is Taver. He's been hiding for hours underneath the biblioplex. He's kind of worried about coming back empty-handed, but he definitely didn't think this mission was worth dying over. And that professor with the violet eyes, like Professor Hottie, she was like super ready to kill his red shirtness. Like it was gonna happen. So he's gonna wait till nightfall to move so he doesn't get blasted by a dragon on his escape. And that's it for that scene. Let's go to Luka's backstory. Boop, boop, boop. So last time we saw Luka, he was already hanging out with a little fox-like creature, but we're gonna go like 3 weeks back to find out how he got here. So 3 weeks ago, he planeswalked here, and he was confused about it, and really, really hungry. So he goes to a nearby inn for a hot meal. But while he was waiting for it, the locals saw him. And then they went all stranger danger on him, accused him of being an Oriq. He has no idea what that is, but he's instantly annoyed because I have a feeling he's got like a real bad temper.
Okay.
Like he rages like really easy. So,
like new Captain America easy?
Maybe.
Okay.
When asked where he's from, he just dryly says, "You wouldn't know it." So, local farm boy says, "Okay, Oriq, we don't take too kindly to meddlers or those who disturb the peace in our town. In a city, we'd get the Dragon's Guard to sort you out. But we're simple farm folk, and here we deal with strangers ourselves." So he starts to conjure up some magic. And Luka just punches him real good. Like, that's done. But another man crashes in, and he's summoning a fireball in his hand. And Luka, like, makes it a few steps running for the door, but he's, like, blasted from behind. He goes through the window, into the street, glass everywhere. Now he's really, really mad. So he snarls, and then he reaches out with his senses to every vulnerable mind he can find. Fireball Man asks, "Where are your friends? We know you Oriq travel in packs." And Luka responds, "Oh, they'll be along any minute now." So the man starts to cook up another fireball, and suddenly a big doggy leaps through the air and bites his arm. Oh no! The man screams, and the fire goes out. He tries to shake off that doggo, and then just as he frees his arm, he's charged by a horse filled with Luka's rage. And Luka just walks away, smirking, but he's still really hungry. He didn't get to eat, so he just staggers down the road, his mind just kind of absently following the fight behind him. Now we're gonna go visit Liliana.
Whee!
Liliana.
Hi, Lily.
Yeah, she is carefully entering the dragon's lair of Beladros Witherbloom. And she makes plenty of noise to announce her approach because you do not want to sneak up on a dragon. And Beladros has decorated her home. She's got glowing spheres of various sizes. They're tucked into the roots. And so, Liliana checks them out like any good house guest, admiring them, waiting for the dragon to come home. And then the sound of wings makes her straighten up and adjust her little professor's uniform. Make sure the girls are in place. And Beladros circles twice and then lands, curling her tail around her body. And she studies Liliana with bright eyes and says, Surely dealing with Teva isn't as much trouble as trekking all the way out here, Professor. And Liliana says, well, what I need isn't something the director can help me with. I found some of your work on etheric reincorporation. Liliana pulls out a pointed piece of metal from her pocket. It's the only piece of Gideon that she has. It's a tip from one of the 4 blades of his Cyril thing. His super good weapon. She's got this piece of it. And she says, what would it take for such methods to work on humans?
Oh my god, she's trying to bring back Gideon!
Yeah.
Beef Slab is coming home!
Well, Bellados makes a grumbling noise, and the ground vibrates. This is dangerous meddling. Some questions are best left unanswered. Liliana continues, and what about the child of Professor Gladefell? I have no idea who this is. But the dragon goes still. Each eye is a bottomless pit. No, that is something I will not see repeated. For all our sakes.
It's an abomination.
And Liliana says, I am not a wayward student in need of coddling or protection. And Bellados says, perhaps not. But it is not you I would be protecting. And she closes her eyes to take a nap. Liliana thinks the dragon has to know more than she's letting on, so she tries one more time. Her last hope. Gideon's last hope. Please, he took my death. Let me give him back his life. Bellados cracks one eye open and looks at her. The wind blows. The dragon sighs. I cannot.
Oh, no!
Liliana turns and goes back the way she came. And as she leaves, Bellados speaks one more time. The pain can be unbearable at times. But in the end, how we honor the dead is reflected in how we... That was a really good line. But in the end, how we honor the... Be serious! This is very serious. How we honor the dead is reflected in how we treat the living. Liliana looks back as the dragon goes to sleep. And now we're going to move on to another scene. Are you okay? Are you together? How's your sinuses?
Fine!
Let's go back to Luka, hungry Luka. Luka is stumbling across a stony ledge along the edge of a sheer cliff. This is very dramatic, exciting stuff. He's really hungry. His water ran out hours ago. Oh no, the ledge suddenly gives way beneath him. Oh, twisting his ankle. He throws out a hand, reaching for anything, catches the edge of a sharp, flat stone. Gritting his teeth, he pulls himself back up onto the stone shelf, sucking in gulps of air. And then he hears something. A pitiful sound, soft and weak. He tracks it to a pile of stones. He pushes one of the stones away and finds a pair of golden eyes. He frees her from the rest of the stones and sees a fox-like creature with gray fur and a camouflage pattern. But she's also got this long gash on her snout, and there's a chunk taken out of one of her pointed ears. She's hurted. But the animal's really happy to see Luka. And Luka's basically like, okay, I freed you, you can go away. And then he passes out. When he wakes up, he kind of senses she's returned, so he really slowly opens his eyes, how hungry is the fox-like creature? And she's staring at him, and she's panting. She's got a happy dog face. She looks at him, and then the ground by him, and then back at him again, eh? And there's a pile of berries and nuts there. Aww.
Not what I expected.
Brought him a snack.
I thought it would be like an animal.
Brought him a trail mix.
When has your puppy ever brought you berries and nuts?
Never. She would have eaten them.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Weird.
And he says, thank you. He takes a deep breath and he casts out his bonder senses. Not for a servant, but for a partner. He hasn't done this in a long time. Didn't realize how much he'd missed it. So this is friend making connection. That's what's happening. Anyway, Liliana is on foot going back to Strixhaven now. She's actually been gone for days, and she's been skipping out on teaching class and attending meetings.
Liliana skipping class.
Bad girl. So there's going to be questions to answer because she's been playing hooky. She hears an animal screech in the distance. Keeping low, she crouches in the undergrowth and sees a clearing up ahead with 7 masked people who are totally not Death Eaters standing in a circle. And they've got purple magic coming out of their fingers, and it's targeted at a large white stag. I see. And it's totally not Harry's stag. But the stag is bleeding. It's rearing its legs. And the Oriq agents just push forward, forcing it into a metal crate inch by inch and finally slamming the door shut. Liliana watches as they load the crate into a nearby wagon and pull away.
Expecto Patronum! Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Poor stag stuck in a cage. Back to Luka. Luka is still wishing for a place to rest and a meal that doesn't maybe come from him mind-controlling rabbits into letting him snap their neck.
Sage.
Yeah, it's really awful. But here in Arcavios, people on this plane hated everything they didn't understand. It seemed to see Oriq agents everywhere. Oh, he hates this place. He hears raised voices and follows to the edge of a ridge, and below there's a woman. She's wearing immaculate robes and facing a group of masked people with purple wispy magic. But she doesn't look that concerned about being outnumbered 4-1. And Luka thinks, it's the Dragon's Guard I've heard so much about. 'Cause there's a dragon stitched on her robes. Super obs. And the Dragon's Guard were elite mages, and they studied at the claws of the dragons. So they're super good at stuff. And the Dragon's Guard is saying, this is your last chance. Turn yourself in, and then the purple wispy magic attacks before she can finish her sentence. And she deflects it, and it goes straight for Luka. He manages to duck just in time, and it hit the tree behind him. And he thinks, that could have killed me. And so this is enough to trigger him into getting involved, and he now wants to fight everybody in the nearby vicinity. Everybody. So he casts out his senses, and he finds a bear and some sleepy wolfies and a strange creature. He's not quite sure what it is, but he doesn't care. Everybody come to the clearing. He grabs them all with his mind powers and sends them. And the Oriq are trying to surround the Dragon's Guard. She is not impressed by anything they throw at her. Black fireball, she turns it to stone. Glittering silver snake, she makes a mongoose out of dirt and grass, and it takes it out somehow, which I think sounds really funny. And Luka's kind of impressed with how effortlessly she just counters everything they do. But then, an angry wolf springs out of the trees directly at her. And she's surprised, but she seals it in a big green bubble, and it floats away. And then she looks up, and she sees Luka, and she says, oh, so it's true. I've heard of an Oriq with your abilities. And Luka says, ugh, for the last time, I'm not a damn Oriq. And then a bear comes out of the trees, and all the Oriq go running with the bear chasing after it and it's kind of silly. But
what's an Oriq? Does he know what an Oriq is?
He knows that he keeps getting accused of it. He assumes it's these people.
How does he know he's not one of them? It might just mean outsider.
He's kind of starting to wonder that, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, go on.
Okay. All right, are you ready? Because now it gets really scary. Super scary. Okay. A strange creature appears. It's the strange creature. And it skitters around on 6 legs. And it's disturbingly fast. And it has glowing tendrils waving from its head. It's going straight for the Dragon's Guard. And she was kind of flippant about the Oriq, but she is taking this one super seriously. So she speaks, and then these roots, as thick as an arm, burst out of the ground and wrap around the creature's legs. And then they hear the snapping of limbs as it's dragged down into the earth, screeching until it's completely buried by snow. And Luka's like, wow. Okay then. And he was so like that he doesn't notice, oh, there's a root wrapping around my ankle right now. Too late, yanks him into the soil like up to his waist. Eee! So the dragon's guard just kind of saunters over. Neat trick, but at the end of the day, you're just another Oriq. And then suddenly, there's a rush of heat and a bright wash of flame, and the dragon's guard is screaming. And Luka turns away. He's trying to shield his face from the flame. When he turns back, he sees, oh, it's my cute little fox-like creature.
Little foxy friend, Mila.
And she's just sniffing the body of the dragon's guard. And she looks at him, does a cute little head tilt. And Luka sighs and says, oh, fine. He reaches out with his mind. And the bond slips back into place, like besties. And he lets her feel like his relief and gratitude for coming to help him. And then he opens his eyes and says, well, if you're going to stick around, I'll need to call you something. How about Mila?
Oh, I name spoiled.
She likes it. So Luka scans the ground, easily sees the trail left by the Oriq agents. They were super outmatched in this fight. Just creeps in scary costumes. He's not impressed by them. But if people are going to keep accusing him of being one of them anyway, he might as well go check them out. So he's going to follow. Now we're going to meet Extus. This is the leader of the Oriq. He's mixing potions. He adds a red liquid into a bowl. It turns nearly white, but then, oh no, it's purple. Oh, it's getting darker and darker, and it's sludge.
This is like your Jell-O experiments.
It went really badly for him.
Go on.
Boo. So he handles this really well. He throws it across the room where the bowl shatters on the wall. His fourth failure.
I've had these kind of days.
He's so bummed. He looks at all the books on his table. Oh, none of them showed him how to get the power he needed. He looks at the floor, the bodies of the dead mage hunter, and the bodies of the Oriq agents. Oh, valuable tools, all sacrificed for nothing. He drained all their life, and it still wasn't enough. So then an agent comes into the room, and Extus asks, are the rest of my supplies here? And then he winks. He's like, they were delayed by a dragon's guard. Oh, and there was also a guy who could control animals. He's following them now. Should I tell them to get rid of him? But Extus is intrigued, and he says, no, let him come.
Going back
and
to
then
the...
he smiles.
Oh. Going back to the first story, then, this is why Luka gave up so easy. I was confused. Luka actually wants to, like, go meet this guy.
He wants to meet this guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
So all of that makes perfect sense now. Like, he actually wants to know what these people are about, because he certainly doesn't have any normal friends, so maybe these people could be friends? I don't know. Back to Liliana! She's been deep in books all day looking for something. Anything to help her in her quest. She's checked the whole biblioplex. There wasn't a book or a scroll or a spell to bring Gideon back. And this was the only reason she'd come to STRIXHAVEN.
Yep, motivation revealed.
Mm-hmm. So this is why she's here.
She wants Gids back.
She's frustrated. She's exasperated. But then she gets to thinking, and she realizes if she hadn't been here, she wouldn't have seen the Oriq agent at the biblioplex from the first episode. And Liliana hates the idea of destiny. Like, she doesn't like being told what to do. But Gideon believed in being in the right place at the right time. And she remembers the important thing that the dragon said about honoring the dead.
How we honor the dead is reflected in how we treat those who
And no one else is taking the Oriq seriously. And she knows she can't do much alone. She needs help. And power. So she looks out the window and happens to see a flash of blonde hair. Oh, it's Rowan Kenrith. She's walking by in her Prismari uniform. And Liliana thinks to herself, maybe it's time to take my role as a professor a little more seriously. And that's the end.
So you're telling me Liliana wants to bring Gideon Jura, who sacrificed himself to save her from Nicole Bolas. She wants to bring him back to life.
Yes.
And she thinks that maybe these Oriq have a way or know something about this, and she wants to learn more about them, and she's going mentor mode on Lil Rowan. to help her with this.
I don't know if she thinks the Oriq
Maybe.
have the answer, but she knows she has to stop the Oriq from hurting the school, and no one else seems to think that they're a threat, and she knows they're a threat. I don't know if there's any answers that she's going to seek with the Oriq, but she knows, you know what? If I can't do this right now, I could at least defend the school and be a good professor.
Okay. And on the other side, we have Luka, who's just like, I hate getting called an Oriq, so I'm going to go see what an Oriq is, but I got a fox. Boom.
Yeah. I got a new bestie.
And we got to meet one of the elder dragons who are the founders of the individual houses. And this one likes naps.
Like snaps and glowing spheres in her house.
All right. Anything else from that? I think that covers everything.
Yeah, just a lot of really quick scenes to just move the plot along, really. But we did get some answers as to why Liliana's here and what she wants to do.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode of CovertGoLore. If you liked it, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment, show that you enjoyed the series. So, for your reader, my lovely wife Gina, for the editor, Maddie B, it's me, it's CGB. Thank you for watching this video. As always, we will see you in the next video. You're cool.
Study before the next one.
Nerd.
Cool kids study.
No, they don't. They know everything already.